We arrived at the Big Chute, the Marina Railway. I needed to finish up a few things on the boat. Jim says, I'm gonna go to shore, and I said, wait for me. Let me text my sister and say that we arrived. He said he would wait on the dock. Well, like a kid in a candy store, he took off and ran over to the museum, leaving me behind. It's Jennifer with Underway Drifting and Dreaming. Jim and I are traveling on the Great Loop Adventure, and we are on the Trent Severn Waterway in Ontario. And this is 232.5 miles in at Lock 44, the Big Chute Marine Railway. It works on an inclined plane to carry boats and individual cradles over a change of a height of 60 feet. They're just saying that you go from the water over a hill on a track system. It's a dual track system, so everything stays pretty level. And you can see here's the downward side. It looks like a railroad or a roller coaster ride going down the hill. We're looking forward to taking our boat over this and heading on to the Georgian Bay. Currently the Big Chute is closed until they can figure out what is wrong, and came to conclusion there was just too much of a water flow, so the boats couldn't get into the cradles. They were being pulled towards the dam, so they shut it down to release water.
You love math.
And get everything working correctly. It started working again about 2 p.m. Though we had decided to spend the night, and we will go on the chute the next day. Here, mechanical room. We're going up in the observation deck. So up the stairs. All right, another flight.
Got a lifeboat.
The Trent Severn Waterway. Jim was pointing out that there's a lifeboat here. So usually they carry quite a few boats on there. But I guess if it keeps on going. Alright, they're opening the dam a little bit more. I don't know if you heard that. Mist is coming up. I'm getting wet here. Some really This boat's up next. Two blue boats that are on the other side. You can see them. These two boats are going to go in front of us. Well, here the blue boat is called Who Dat. It's an East Bay 54, and first a smaller boat's going to come into the cradle or the carriage. The big part's called the carriage, and then the straps are the cradle. And then I'm here filming. Jim notices that there's a man and a woman standing at the bridge, and it looks like she's having some type of, I'm not sure, she's just looking like she's having problems standing up. So I continue to film and watching the boat come in. Here you can see the applied mathematics, those pulleys and gears, and just kind of watching the boat come in. And you can watch the stern drift just a little bit towards the dam, so they have that water flow under control now. This is probably about 2 hours after they open the Big Chute back up. But keep an eye on the stern of the vessel, and you'll see it swing a little bit. And he has thrusters, so he's fully in control of the boat. He had asked me to get pictures of his props. He had backed into while he was going into the slip or leaving the slip at the marina and damaged both his props. He knew that he hit. So Jim is going to take pictures and text them while they are traveling. So I'm glad that I had asked Jim to come out to help. And here you can see those straps. They're moving around. You can see the straps.
All right.
Taking some strain. And they're getting
So
secured
if she's
in.
out there, maybe just holler to her and say, you're taking the pictures. Help!
And this is where I take off running with my camera to help the person. I deleted all the other video. So Jim walked over. I was able to come over and set my camera back up. So the railway is now moving. It's going to come up the hill. And you can see there's a power cord that is turning on the right side of the carriage, the railway. And it rides on these dual tracks. So as it's coming up the rail, everything stays level. So you'll be able to see that the props are hanging off the back of the boat. And it just hangs there. So this can carry up to a 100-foot long vessel and 24-foot wide. The very first one was a much smaller version. And they went with the railway because it was so much less expensive than a lock. And I guess after the war, they just didn't have the money and the personnel to put into building a lock, and so this was a less expensive route to go. You will see Jim running along the side taking pictures over here to the text to the boat owner. So he's crossing the railroad tracks. I'm still going back and forth to help. I did get the person in their car, and think maybe she had a stroke, not sure. But the park service is with her now, and I'm able to continue to film. But this is just amazing. This is done by Gears employees, something that was, conceived of a very long time ago. And the technology, it's just a engineering marvel. And now she's heading down the hill, and it's not very long. It's a 10-minute ride, and then they'll be off and heading to the last lock. And that is Port Severn and Lock 45, and you're out to the Georgian Bay. Another cool thing about having the railway, it stops invasive species. And I guess a long time ago, or they still have it, it's a primitive eel. I guess it attaches to fish and sucks their blood out. I did not know this. I'm glad I didn't go swimming in the Trent Severn. I did fall off my sup paddle or sup board a few times. And now that I'm reading this, it's a little disturbing. But, so it's just one way to stop the invasive species coming into the lake. And there she goes down the hill. This is the last boat to go over on the day that we arrived. It was a boat delivery gentleman. He had the owners on board, and he had already passed us once on the Trent Severn with another boat that he was delivering. I didn't get to talk to him because of the medical emergency that was happening, so I never got his contact to send him the footage of them loading up on the railway. This is just another point of view, standing on the other side of the railway. And you can see that that boat is held in there by the slings or the cradle. And it comes across. It does stop to let one of the gentlemen off, one of the workers. And then they continue on with a different crew down the hill. So there was 3 boats. We were tied up on the other side, and we all moved over to the blue line. Of course, we went in our positions where we talked about we were number 3, and we left spots in between so we could run our generators. There was no power here. Here, I threw the battle fender over. It was on the back deck. I went stand-up paddleboarding in this area. There was a swift water, and I went away from that and went further up the river, so I was away from the dam, but it wasn't anything that was urgent or that I couldn't get away from. And here it sees the moment, and there's that distance in between us. We'll scoot up in the morning to allow more people to come over to the blue line. It was a very quiet night here. And then I don't remember what this boat is, the name of it. But this is early in the morning. I go out running and walking and got rained on big time. It was a big thunderstorm that came through. And so the lift or the railway didn't open right at 9 o'clock.
Alright, I need to figure out what's 17.7 meters. So we're going to go over the road right here. Just going to go over, come on down to the lower section. Really cool, and it says it takes 10 minutes of travel time. Like I said, it goes quickly, and it's loud because that water is rushing down those rocks right next to us. Having the dams next to us at night makes for a great sleeping. I think we stayed at a lock that the dam was far away. Or maybe it didn't have a dam, but you could hear everything. So I was up at 4 in the morning hearing animals outside. So just a series of pulleys. It goes underneath the road. I'm gonna try to walk on here and film. He said, the park service guy yesterday when we were talking to him, that parents will send their kids underneath the railway while it is moving to get a picture. That is ridiculous. Like I said, You don't want to get hurt out here. I'm keeping a real close eye out for rattlesnakes, just being very observant. Haven't seen anything yet, but I live in Texas, and I've only seen a rattlesnake a few times. See more coral snakes than rattlesnakes. So this house is the museum, the bathrooms, the machinery inside this building here. And I'm gonna walk across this little bridge to check out the old railway. There's the motor vessel Cetus. She's on the blue line. So here, there's another floodgate. I guess there's an endangered species, and that's why there's not a lock through here. But I have not found any information about it yet. So I will keep searching to find out why they went with the railway instead of a lock. Oh, it looks like I can walk down there too. There's a hawk out here on the transmission lines. Oh, it just flew away. We haven't been seeing many hawk. There's a falcon in Amsterdam and New York. We've seen a lot of eagles, ospreys. All right, it's starting to rain, and I have brand new shoes from Bigley's and Bob Cajun Works. They did not have Ghost. I'm a runner, I love Ghost. I think these are glycerins, I'm not sure. But I am going to put the camera down and walk a little bit faster. But this is the old railway here, and you can see it's much smaller, where the other one can take several boats, or smaller boats, jet skis. I'm sure we'll be the only one on the lift. The two blue boats in front of us, they may take them together or separate, depending on they're traveling together. We'll see if they take them. So the old railway was just across the road here, and you can see how much smaller it is. All right, sounds like generators are going all around. There is no power or water. That's how we live. We store about 500 gallons of water. We don't take it all on because we want to float higher in the water. Fuel, everybody says, they ask about our fuel rate for our boat. Well, our fuel consumption is very low with one engine going slow, but we also have to factor in the generator running. So the generator will probably run for an hour and a half to 2 hours this morning. Charge up those batteries. We want to make sure that our stern thruster, bow thrusters are charged and ready to go. So the bow thruster is underneath there. You can't see it. And you can see our stabilizing fins. I guess they're pretty, it's messy. It's just because we've been supping, we've been having fun. We also bought a kayak. So last night I came out here and I paddleboard out here practicing. I was on my bottom, on my knees, standing up, but I never fell in. And the water was running very quickly last night. You can see that. I'll zoom into this way down here. You can see the algae growth on it, and it's not moving. Last night, the water line was above that, so they have released a lot of water. And
past that, we're not gonna be able to stop it.
Okay.
Because your line is limited.
It's stuck. Up.
You want me to
Yeah, I'm gonna unmove it. Here. Hold on.
hold it?
Thank you.
Yeah, that
Okay.
way you have a break.
Yeah. Alright. There we go. Yeah, I know. I'm like, eh. There we go. Got her.
I'm just gonna take her off the sort of.
I don't think I'll be able to get that next week.
All right, you just want to make it up there?
And beat maybe.
All right. Right now we're 10. Eight. That's good if you want. While we were moving the boats, the first boat is going across the railway. It's about a 10-minute ride, and there's 2 boats on there. They took a small one that was behind us, and I believe that one's a 48-footer.
Once we enter the water, this next trip, we will be getting the 3rd boat on the blue line coming in front right. Give us a second to get them loaded, and then we will be taking the 1st boat on the blue line coming in back center. Just a reminder, bring all bumpers up on deck before you enter the carriage. And remaining boats on the blue line, do pull forward in the order that you arrived. Let incoming traffic come behind you. Thank you.
It's empty. Let's have a gears.
yeah.
You're ready to roll. Take your time. Thanks a lot. I don't think there's as much current today as there was yesterday.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to
It's
be.
at that last second. A couple people were pushing.
Yes, I saw that too.
Don't want to be up against those wires, that's for sure.
Well, I went out paddleboarding last night, and the water was above the buoys. This morning it's about 7 inches below the buoys.
Okay.
You know how you get the algae
Yeah.
growth,
Uh-huh.
so I could tell. It'd be nice if we had a little bit more sun. And I'll just hand you your bow line, or Jim
Oh,
can.
thank you.
That
Okay.
way.
3rd boat, you're good to start to come in.
I can see why the main ships are the most popular loop road. Yeah.
feet
Excellent.
with stabilizers.
Yep. Are they marked on your hull?
They're below the 2 silver windows,
Awesome. Yeah, I can see them.
and you got the sling marks on the rail.
They're nice and bright green. You can see them under the water from
We
here.
have a skeg.
You have a keel?
Yes.
Does the keel draw more or less than your shafts and props?
It's below the prop, so the prop is protected.
So fully protected?
It's fully protected. The rubber is that big for the skeg, and not right here.
I'll keep that off for sure.
So the little door on the cockpit is where
The little door is where the propellers are?
we have a wing engine, but it's up high.
You like these guys too? They're nice and easy to load.
Hold it. A little in reverse.
Stickers there too. For these. Yep, they're white blues. We won't use the sling marks on your sling. I'll take my sling to the sling, stick my deck in. Okay.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen on the other side. We're going to start engine and okay. Okay. And get organized. So the electric cable is over here. It is rolling like that. That's pretty cool. Hopefully it doesn't come unplugged. Alright. There goes the gates for the roads. Park service guys said a lot of people try to run underneath and take pictures. I guess survival of the fittest. Alright, here comes my roller coaster ride.
As we're going down towards the water, I need to head off to the stern to check when we start the engines to make sure water is flowing out with the exhaust. And I'm glad I did. It was a different point of view walking up an incline to the back of the boat, then down the ladder, and then seeing my plants on the patio table that was at a very sharp angle. I think a few things fell inside, but we did not have any damage of things falling.
I'll go ahead and push stop.
All I could say, that was an incredible experience to see all the different point of views of the boats loading into the carriage and going over the hill from water to the rail to water again, and actually being on it. So now we're in a very narrow channel and we're heading towards Port Severn, which is our last lock. The Trent Severn is a total of 240.6 miles long. And so we'll be coming up to Port Severn very soon. You can see the rock on the side of the channel up in the trees. So it must have been blasted at one time and the rocks removed to make this channel big enough for boats to go through. And we did call a security to alert other boaters to make sure nobody else was coming. Here's a pile of rocks right here. We arrived at Port Severn way too fast. I had to switch the fenders to the other side and go to the other side. So this is it. We're saying goodbye to the Trent Severn. We knew every night where we were going, where we were going to tie up, and we are going into the unknown, the beautiful Georgian Bay. It's supposed to be the cruising. The Georgian Bay and the North Channel are supposed to be the places to cruise. But the last little bit of the Trent Severn, how it kind of spits you out. And this, look at the narrow channels. Jim had me up on the bow, and I can't say if there's a rock. He doesn't like me saying if there's a rock anymore. But it is so narrow, he's kind of white-knuckling it through here. I'd say there's probably 60, maybe 60 feet between the markers. So when you're coming in, it's better because you're against the current. Here we're traveling with the current. We had a headwind. And here we go to the Georgian Bay. Thank you for watching this very long video of all my different point of views of the Big Chute, the Marina Railway. Clicking like and subscribing. We are heading off to the Georgian Bay, so let's continue watching, and I will be making more videos of the Great Loop Adventure.